guys, and welcome to the Sunderland vs Bristol City match review. So I was literally just moments away from pressing record, celebrating like crazy and celebrating that we have pushed up to 4th place, but sadly we did concede a penalty right in the last sort of couple of minutes of the game in injury time, which is absolutely horrible. It's really punched me in the gut, as it has done with a lot of Sunderland fans, but we'll get into the review anyway, because I think maybe all in all it's possibly a fair result, but nevertheless when you concede in injury time to a penalty that I just don't think should have happened. Yes, I think it was a penalty in terms of, you know, Troy Hume brought down his man. It was blatant, it was clear as day, can't complain about that, but I just don't think he had to pull him down the way he did. But there you go. But we get into the game. So we had Pato in goal, we had Alessi, we had Ballard, Bart, Troy Hume across the back, Mishu and Dhannoo renewed their midfield partnership in the middle with Ahmad, Roberts and Clark behind Gelhardt. Now getting into the game, I think the opening half an hour, maybe even 35 minutes, I think we were the second best. I think Bristol City, their press was fantastic. Our press was non-existent. I think Gelhardt at times he tried to lead the line and he was sort of pressing and he was turning around to the likes of Roberts, Ahmad and Clark and he was trying to, you know, amp them up like, come on, follow me when I'm trying to, you know, chase the play down, and they just weren't going with him at all. But then every time we get the ball, they'd lead as a collective and they would press on us and we weren't dealing with it. You know, we'd get 2 or 3 passes before giving the ball away. We'd go backwards and then eventually hoof the ball forward and we'd lose out, or you'd have the little triangles that the likes of Ahmad, Troy Hume and Roberts would do, but it was getting us nowhere. But they look really, really dangerous. Mehmeti, you know, on that left-hand side a couple of times, cutting in from left to right and going for goal. For the majority of it, opening sort of 20-25, as I say, even though they were the better side, they were very much restricted to long-distance efforts. Although there was one chance, like I say, for Mehmeti when he cuts in from left to right, he managed to dribble through the defence really, really easily. He goes for that bottom right-hand corner, for the far corner, and Pato gets an excellent hand on it, but he tips it onto the inside of the post, and somehow it doesn't hit the back of the net. You know, so Bristol City absolutely deserved at least a lead. After the sort of half an hour marks, it was all them. But then we started to get into the game ourselves. We were making chances, and Gelhardt, you know, I said in the preview to this game, I predicted that he was going to get his first goal, and arguably probably should have done. You know, Clark, he gets the ball really well on that left-hand side. He cuts in from left to right, and he just fizzes it into Gelhardt, inch perfect, but Gelhardt takes a sort of swing at it. He does really well to get in front of his man. He took a swing at with his left foot, completely missed the ball. And another chance as well, Roberts, he was on the right-hand side, he takes on his man as he does, gets it to the byline, he pulls it back for Gelhardt. Granted, it's a little bit behind him, but I would have liked to have seen him maybe trying to sort of position himself into a shooting position, or he twisted the wrong way rather than take it towards goal. He took it away with his back to goal, and then he dilly-dallied and the ball got took away from him. And those were the kind of chances that we were getting. We had a couple of little half chances here and there, you know. I think a corner, our first corner of the game was sort of the back end of that first half, and Ballard balloons it over. But other than that was it. That was 0-0. And the things I was taken away from that first half, and I did say it on social media, other than the last sort of 5 minutes of the half, Clark on the left-hand side, he just gets no support at all. And I know people have argued back and said that he likes it that way, but you know, people get pissed off with him and frustrated with Clark when he runs into danger or maybe don't release the ball, but there's no one with him at all. Apart from the last 5 minutes when Alessi made a couple of overlapping runs, other than that, he had nothing. Every time he gets on the ball over on that left-hand side, he gets crowded out and they get 2-3 opposition players crowding him out, and half the time he might try and skin him, and then sometimes he get fouled, sometimes he'll run into danger and hit the ball off him, but he's got no one with him at all. Whereas in comparison, absolute stark contrast on the right-hand side when you've got Hume, Roberts and Ahmed, they're following each other in a triangle. Do you know what I mean? They've always got an option on. Clark doesn't have that on the left-hand side, and I think that's why you need someone like Sirkin, who he loves those outside runs, he loves those overlapping runs, and that isn't a dig at Alessi by any stretch, because he's naturally a centre-back, but he, and he's been outstanding defensively. But sometimes you see Clark, he picks up the ball on the left-hand side in a great position, but it's him against 2 or 3, and all he needs is an overlapping run. And as soon as Alessi started doing that last 5 minutes, we started to make more chances on the left-hand side. But either way, second half, I feel like we're miles better. Again, not creating absolute clear-cut chances. But it is Clark, it's the man himself, picks up the ball on the left-hand side for some good initial work from Gelhardt, puts it out to Clark on the left-hand side. And I keep on saying this, and I'm saying it time and time again, and I've said it on Twitter as well. What's so brilliant about Clark is he is predictable, but you can't stop him. You can't stop him at all. So he's cutting from left to right, and he's absolutely pinged it into that top right-hand corner. It's a scorcher, and from then on, we made substitutes. Pritchard come on, Mishu come off, amongst others, getting on the ball, playing really well. But I think we're definitely guilty trying to walk the ball into the back of the net, and that's been the case many, many times this season. Again with the likes of Robertson, Ahmad, and Hume. The little triangles. There's a time when I think Dhannoo had it on the edge of the box. He's got acres of space, just hit the ball. He's right on the edge of the box. And he's waiting, and then gives it to Diallo. He messes around with it, and eventually it comes to nothing. But we did have some fantastic chances. One it was pulled back from Ahmad at the byline to Roberts. He tries to put it in at the near post. It was a cracking save from the Bristol City goalkeeper. Then again, we start to bring the changes, but more defensive changes, because Bristol City is starting to press again, starting to push us up the pitch again, or starting to push themselves up the pitch again, should I say. And I think we just kind of sat back a little bit and asked for it. We started to bring off the creativity off the pitch. Of course, Roberts coming off, Ahmad eventually coming off. And we started to give players a rest. And I thought we were just going to sit back with the likes of Ekwa coming on. We didn't, Clark come off, sorry. And I feel like we just kind of sat back and were asked for it, and eventually, after they were pressed, they were getting themselves into some fantastic positions, fizzing balls across the box, and it felt like it was a matter of time. But Luke O'Nien, when he come on, he was putting some excellent headers in, some challenges in. One of them was a hilarious one where the lad was trying to break forward for Bristol City, and he just jumped on his back and got a piggyback ride, which of course he was immediately booked for, but it was hilarious at the time. But then De Silva for Bristol City, he gets the wrong side of Trey Hume, and it's a good chance for him, of course, but he still has a lot of work to do, and he gets brought down by Hume. It's a point blank range, easy penalty to give, and sadly Pato can't replicate his penalty heroics from his last time out. He goes the right way, but it's smashed into bottom left hand corner from Wells, and it's finished 1-1. Heartbreak at the stage of my life, because we would have been sat in fourth right now, because I think Luton did lose in the end to Burnley. But I did say before the game, and the only sort of positive, I guess, or kind of positive I can take from it is, I did predict a 1-0 draw. Bristol City, they're a team that, they're not one for losing many games. They're now unbeaten in 11. It was 10 before the game began today. They're a good side. You can see what they're all about. Well organised, they press well. They do have quality, and I think for the opening half an hour of the game, I thought, I'd have absolutely taken a 0-0 at that point, or 1-0, should I say, if you only got the viewing of the first half an hour, because we were at times at the back, they were kind of erratic and all over the place. The gaps were everywhere between defence and midfield, and we asked for it. So I think all in all, I'll probably take it, but the manner in which we did, I think it's criminal, really. We should be coming away from home, with a couple of minutes left of injury time. We're 1-0 up. We looked good for our lead at the time. It shouldn't have happened. But it is what it is. We're currently in fifth still, which, I'll take it every day of the week. We're only a point behind Luton, who are currently in fourth. We're some way behind the top two, but even so, we're looking really, really good for a playoff position if we keep on going the way we're going. Just keep picking up points, keep picking up wins here and there, and that'll be that. So let's finish 1-1. You guys let me know in the comments down below, what did you think of the game? And if you have enjoyed this video, please hit the like button for me, and subscribe if you're new to the channel to become a fully fledged member of the Sarny Army. But for now, take care, stay jammy.